I think I just fogged up the screen. Is that better? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. One Love and Wellness. Love plus art equals wellness. Art happy hour. Precious Mother Love. How y'all doing today? Ooh, every day is a new view, a new way of seeing things. So much new stuff is happening that is adding to parts and pieces of the picture so that the puzzle is like remixing. So it's like a renewing, I knew it, I know it, I'm remembering, I'm remembering, so it's a new knowing of some old things that I know I knew before, but now there's a knowing. So there's the renewing, the new knowing. And there's the reviewing, but recalibrated view. Like you focus in the microscope, like the scope is either getting a wider view, a wider picture of the view. Ooh, the sun is causing some concern right there. How about that? I think that puts me back in the picture. Okay. Yeah, I hope you can hear me. One Love and Wellness, Love plus Art equals Wellness, Heart Happy Hour, Season 8. And Season 8 started right after, upon my return to my HQ in DC. Upon my return, I felt a renewing, a re-knowing, or I'm getting to know my city in a different way, from a new view, a new perspective. Coming back was a new knowing and a reviewing. I'm viewing my city in a different way. OMG, what happened yesterday? I got texts and calls and saw some folks on Facebook talking about their experience here. Well, there, because I'm no longer there, uh, of this nation's capital, MFG. As I was leaving, I was seeing helicopters. As I was leaving, I was seeing, police presence being prevalent. And, yeah, we want a safe city. And to me, this ain't the way to do it. But, that's one way to accomplish a certain amount of control over the situation, a certain amount of influence. And it's just a very crowded way of being. But, that's city life, right? And now the city has a new view. I am viewing my city in a new way. Hey, 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 Jason. Is it Jason Prince? Jackson Prince. How are you? One Love and Wellness. Hi there, Ashe. All right, so as I review through this calibrated view, as I review my city, as I renew or get to know my city again, because it's a whole new city now, it's a whole new perspective. If we got a whole new popo head and the POTUS is what came to mind. The head of the elected official, the head elected official that we have in position. He's. I don't want to get too deep into anything political for real. But just from the perspective of the view, it's a new view. And as I review this city, it's giving it another flavor. It's giving it another taste. It has a different taste in my mouth. It doesn't have the same taste that I was having, and it's still new. It's still early. So that is not what I had intended to talk about. That's what came off the top of my dome. Uh, hey, little llama, One Love and Wellness. Thank you for coming and joining us to review the new view of Sense. And I was saying my new view has been uh, I've been noticing new views of things since Stone Mountain, really. Since I approached that mountain. Now, I approached it a month before and had a little chit chat energetically and said, hey, I'll be back. I did that on the 28th of, see if that helps. I did that on the 28th of May, came back 28th of June with the crew and did the whole thing. But the night before was a challenge. My phone ran out. I didn't have any way to get a GPS charged up. Went to a gas station. Man allowed me to put my phone. He took my phone behind the counter. I was a block, 2 blocks away. I was so I went to the gas station. Said, "Excuse me, sir, could you do me a brief favor and allow my, my device to charge up a bit?" Gave it to him. Hung around for about 10 minutes and chatted with the fella. It was an Indian fella, and I seemed to have a way of striking up a great conversation with them in particular. Especially, they own a lot of the stores in the areas that I was, seeing myself going to their little markets. And any case, have a few that are from the India, the country, Indians, and they are actually very supportive of my entrepreneurial efforts and have allowed me to set up at their locations from time to time because they're very interested, very familiar, very it's a big part of their lives as far as the copper is concerned. I'm told from a few of the elders that they use copper containers to put water next to the bed at night, and they sip some in the morning and they sip some at night, and so and swear by it, keeping a better uh, health for them. And so I agree. I definitely agree. The consensus is there because of those $1 million bodies where on those ball courts, in the stadiums and places where they're expected to be at their peak performance. If they're using it, I don't think they would use it if it did not have some support for them. But anyway, the new view, since the Stone Mountain deal. Let me tell you what when I finally got my phone charged up, got to my girl's house, and the night before it was said, a comment was made. You know, even if you wake up late, still make sure if you come and go ahead and get there, da 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 da. Right? So why did my alarm not go off? It, maybe it went off. I don't know. I don't think I checked. I have it on for every other day. Every other day, it wakes me up. I ain't never slept through it. So whatever. Like an hour later, I woke up and I'm like, what the what? So I go ahead and gather myself. I get there, and I'm still having it in the back of my mind because I broke my foot, and I'm still mending and still healing, and it was tough. My mind kept saying, "You didn't come all this way just to turn around," and you know, well, maybe that was my heart speaking. I think that was my heart because my mind was saying, you know, you limping and da 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 with the bone and da 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 da. And then a third thought came in, girl, if you keep talking about these healings that you have had, that you have experienced, that you have seen, what's wrong with this healing? Why is this not healing? Why is this not healed? With all these other things that have happened, broken bones and, uh, um, skin disorders and, ailments of all types and kinds, energetically have been, I want to say energetically, I could say spiritually, the spirit of the energy of the spirit, whatever, the frequency of healing had to be applied. And I told myself, I finally, I said, okay, just drive, just get there, just, head there, head that way, combat the turnaround thought, off and on, not the whole way, but off. The line was filled, those parking spaces here, because I tell myself, if I am supposed to be somewhere, my parking space is right up front. If I'm supposed to be there, right? So I went to try to fit in this one and fit in that one. It wasn't the front. And, rode around a couple times and then finally, did a little, I guess, a quick tour. Once I looked at the map, I see it's a big place. It's got pools, it's got resorts, it's got golf courses, it's got lakes, boating, it's got a gondola or whatever you call that sky uh, thing. you know, there's a whole bunch to this park that I never even knew about. The name is The Saving, the Stone Mountain. Well, guess what? That joint is laid out with a lot of commercial stuff, but ways to enjoy the mountain. Okay. So I did a little tour of the property and I came back and I, I saw the person walking to her car. She was the very first car. And I pulled up next to her. I said, "You coming out?" She said, "Yes." I says, "Okay, thank you." And so so there was another car that pulled up. And as she was trying to pull out, they were trying to pull in. So she stopped. And I got out the vehicle and I says to her, I said, "Can you, hold on until I say something to them about, that we are." And so she says, "No, I got it." She got out. She told the person, excuse me, "I'm going to move and I'm letting them have my space." So I think I'm supposed to be taking this exit point nine miles. Okay, yeah, point 9 miles. Okay. And so I got back in my vehicle, waited for her to move. That person backed up. I was able to get in. Okay, because it was a little bit of a you know challenge getting the space. Everybody was piling up. It was overloaded. We came out in droves. I don't know. I want to say we had at least you go on with yourself. Dip. So that first parking space, right? So, okay, I'm supposed to be here. Okay, confirmed it, stamped it, approved. I'm here. So I get out, got myself together, got these brand new tennis shoes on, and it's kind of tennis shoes I like is I like the kitties. I mean, I'm sorry, the kids. I like kids. I used to wear grasshoppers a lot. That was a style of shoe similar to the kid. Just the kids themselves was just the regular lace up. I used to love those shoes, and I did a lot of walking in those. Was never one to get the high end expensive shoes. So because I was never really a tennis shoe person, I wore uniforms. I was a private school girl for a good while. So I to wearing, when it was time to wear regular clothes, I was usually going somewhere doing something and trying to look cute about it. So it wasn't much of a jean kind of thing. I had jean skirts. But anyway, New View, since Stone Mountain, that hike, when I got to the mountain, I went up. First off, and I recorded this as I first started up the mountain. I recorded this. Go back and take a look. I even said that. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't, for real. I did not, because I was, it had not fully sunken in yet. I was not. I went through a lot to get there, and with so many challenges at me, 2 days before, and I don't want to cry, but 2 days before I left to go to Atlanta, a spiritual event occurred. My home was invaded under false pretenses by the fire department. They knocked down my front door and they knocked down my apartment door. I had a door that led to stairways that led to two upper apartments. And so my apartment was invaded because there was no fire. There was no fire in the building. But anyway, I said it was a spiritual event for several reasons. The person who called the fire department was a shaman person, and whatever the reason and rationale for that to occur, it did, and it was not a deterrent for me to still leave and do what was required. I took everything that I could, put it into storage, and I did a whole bunch of safeguarding of the situation. I needed to have my insurance says, I'm covered, but uh, they were going to sue the shop person for recouping. Should I be concerned? Should I not care? It was activated because of the call that they made. So, in any case, so that is on my mind to some degree, but putting that aside, I'm already walking up this mountain, and I says, okay, don't know if I can make it, but I'm gonna do the best I can. And at some point, it locked in that we're doing this. And I made stops along the way. I met people along the way up because, folks that when we would stop, there were certain gathering places, certain areas where people gathered, and we would converse with each other, introduce ourselves from where we were from and all like that. And the majority of the people, when I was going up, the majority of the people, Black Magic 360 activated, and the Ledger twins had elevated the potential that was to be reaped from this vortex. Because we created a vortex just with us. Our presence was energetic enough to cause a ripple. Just the presence. But then with the gifts that we came with, the presence came with gifts. And we had pockets of people and a large group of people. And there were lots of uh, master teachers, ascending masters were on there. Lots of energy was cleansed, cleared, activated, initiated. That mountain climb itself would be an initiation in my mind. because I had to, even though my bone was broken in my foot, I'd hear the click when I was walking. Before the mountain, I'd hear the click of the foot of the bone of it not having been healed. Since then, no side effects. Woo! Talk about the spirit, the spirit, the spirit. Talk about the spirit, the energy, the vibe, the frequency. It was about healing in the first place. The whole strong end was about healing in the first place. So all of these obstacles that I was presenting myself with, I was about to say that I was presented with, but I had to tell the truth and shame the devil. Oh, take the high road, elevate my my view, renew my view, renew it. Okay, I put these obstacles in place for myself to show myself through all the thick, and it was happening. It did happen, and that activated to the point where I hit the highway to heaven. Yes, I did. I went to Indian mounds. I went to sacred burial grounds. That's what the Indian mound was. I didn't even know they have Indian mounds in D.C. Sacred burial grounds in D.C. I visited a couple of places while I was there too before I left today. And I say, but what I'm saying is I achieved the do list, once I had tapped into the info about where these the access limited. But anyway, so yeah, they're hiding these places in plain. You gotta know what you're looking for. And I found the treasure map and went on a treasure hunt. Honey, I found one in Florida that was the largest. Oh, okay. So it must have skipped a couple things. I went to some sacred mountains. I went to some sacred spaces and places. The largest, deepest freshwater spring cavern in the world is in Florida. So I went to that. I don't know what's happening in the world. Who knows? I'm just saying. I didn't get the chance to go down there and see, but I hear there were some uh, very spiritual, sacred things that were going on in these places. And you know what? That place, that one particular place, I had a difficult time coming in. It was, I went up to the gate and it says, "Hey, come back in an hour. There's too many people." And really, that's their end. And so the Europeans all left in an exodus just before they allowed us to come in. I don't know what was going on, but the lore is that at that particular location, there are sacred activities that are sanctioned that occur there. Okay, so I went to some sacred places. I collected stones. I treasure hunted along my way. I picked up a few um, tokens Or what can I say? I had the word and then it slipped away. The gems that I chose represent the journey, and they are now completely cured. I did a cleansing and a curing and a sterilizing process for them. And so now I am preparing to present those gifts, those presents, those creations uh, very soon. So anyway, so I made it up the mountain, went on my little treasure hunt, this place, that place, and the other, returned back to my city, and lo and behold, my city, is a different place, a different space right now. It's a whole different mindset. I, I want to say the city is on lockdown. I want to say the city is in martial law. I want to say that there may even be I don't know if there's a curfew, but I know at a certain hour, the presence, goes into specific areas looking for specific things. And so, any places where folks are sleeping outside, they're really outside. I don't, really, I truly don't want to get into the specifics of that because I really don't want that to be troubling in my future, in my way of perceiving things. So my perspective and my paradigm has shifted to a place where, to me just now what came to me was a song of a cartoon that I used to watch on Saturday mornings. It's a news review coming right at you. It's a news review coming right at you. So, so I'm not in the mindset that I'm going to be um, as active in my hometown as I have been. It seems like there are um, a lot of things that, and that I just saw three cops had pulled over this one car, and I just passed that by. So I guess there is some uh, extra presence in other areas as well. So I am making sure that I am in my bubble, in my own world, and in my uh, best mindset. So the same way that there is discussion of, this is all for the better, and this is for the greatest, and the good, and the good of all. Well, that is now my new perspective for the best for me, the best for all of what I have to do, what I'm here for, what my mission is, the best for me and mine, but the best. So I'm not I'm not even as sure that I'll be as accommodating for you know mine. For me, I got to go with what's win-win for me. So I'm looking to be able to exchange winning, on both sides. What's a winning, what's a home run for you, and what also lets me, you know, hit hit it out the park. Okay, so that actually is something that I've been easing into slowly. But the time that when they called, you know, um, let's not get into that. Let's go back to what my childhood was of some things. That was where I wanted to go because on my website, Love plus Art equals wellness. On my website, Love plus Art equals wellness. My services, I have a whole rack of services that have child's play as a part of it, or some sort of a child mindset to view, where we're making music, or where we're making vision boards, or where we're doing um, or has to tell a part of it. this fantastical story. So, I start off with that, a beautiful red dragon egg. And then I'm walking towards the egg, and then I go to the next person. And the next person says, and as it's hatching, we hear a lovely sound of music that's like coaching the dragon into a happy song of 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 you know birth. Okay, and so maybe the next person says, and then that happy song of birth sees in that happy song of birth time, we see that three other red dragon eggs are off to the side, and they may be hatching soon too. But this new red dragon is stretching its wings. It's seeing its depth, its breadth, its feeling its own strength. It's gaining its balance, and it is sitting in one place in a happy vibration of harmony. Right. And the next person might say, and that harmony tune is soothing all that are in a 25-mile radius. A 25-mile radius, these folks are feeling the impact of this new red, rare bird, red dragon. And the next person goes on and on and on from there. So, you know, in any case, let's just say that I am a creator in the arts realm. I am a sacred arts curator. And it involves, you know, the arts in a childish way. Back to that mindset, going back to a freestyle, free play, free time, recess, a break from the normal way of thinking, the normal way of doing things, the normal way of thinking about things. Let's re-know our child mindset. Our let's, I'm telling me, I'm telling me, think more like you did when you were a child. When I was a child, people would ask me questions of things and just know that I would know the answer. I would just tune into my internal compass and I would answer. They would ask me things. And I know that I don't know, but for some reason I knew that I could know and I would tap into. I remember, sometimes I close my eyes, sometimes I put my hand on my forehead, on my third eye. Sometimes I would scratch my head. See what they're trying to tell me to go 3.3 miles. Okay, I'm good. I would scratch my head like, there would be some electrical synapses going on that would tingle my scalp and I, I would be able to pull it out of my hat, as they say. Um, and so I just found that, I was able to lean into my creative side, but at the same time, that was also because I played, oh my God, I played so many instruments, but that was also tapping. But I did it because and I would be going to other places, be back where I was before because I would be wishing to be back there or whatever. And so there was two house. In my parents' room, I had found a vortex that if I were to tap or touch this, go there. One was tapping into, like I was touching a magic key or magic button, like my finger was a magic key, like my finger activated whatever the energy was to get out of it. This is the way it felt. This is from the child's view, from the child's mind. Maybe I should review it and re-know it from this mindset even more, because I have over the years here and there adjusted my view. So let's just say this. I would go to a certain part of the bedroom and that's the way I would exit, but then I would come back through another way in the bedroom, which was actually through the wall. But I also would end up places, and there would be time missing, but usually short times, 10 minutes, but in the realm of where I had been, it seemed like, a whole episode, a whole dream, a whole lot would happen. So, anyway, so since that age, since the age of 5, I had this knowing of things from that childhood mind, not knowing what I know, and now I have more of a grasp on not knowing. Like I can not know, but somehow I know that I know. So some kind of way I activate a renewing of a re-knowing, a new way of doing it with the K. Woo! Ain't that something with the K? Okay, are you telling me to go here? See, something. Oh, you say go here. Oh, go here. Okay. Some kind of way. I think that little teeth thing up there is trying to tell me some things. The GPS is minimized while I'm doing my live. But, thank you for joining me again, Love+Art equals Wellness Heart Happy Hour, Season 8. I'm talking about re-knowing, renewing, reviewing, looking at things from a paradigm, a shift, another angle, and often you find you are in a curious mode, you start looking at it from different angles, and you see something else from that perspective. So, but let me just also mention, from my childhood time, picking that back up, up till now, I read the book of Paramahansa, Yogananda Paramahansa, the book, autobiography of a. This was as an adult I read it, but my daughter was probably in eighth grade. Eighth, yeah, she was in eighth grade. She's a college graduate now, but or beyond that, she's double that now, whatever that is. So, but so I had said something just now and don't remember what I just said. So renewing. Oh, eighth grade. Let me see. I forget what it was. Dang gummit. Doggone it. I was re-knowing, I was knowing, I was reviewing. Oh, the autobiography of a yogi. So I had every section in that book, every person that the Yogananda, that the yogi met, all those people, all but maybe about 4, maybe less than that. I've done or did or can do what the people that he interviewed have done, what he was able to document about them. Why he thought they were special, why he put it in the book. I did all of that. And so when I reread the book when my daughter got to high school. And when I reread it, it sunk in a little more because I had a few more years of, each year things are, every solar return, which I'm almost to my solar return season. The 15th of August begins my season in my book. Because I'm going to tell you, my life is a movie, and there is a book. And I'm thinking I need to make it a movie. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real. So I reread the book. It recalibrated my view, my vision of things. It updated some things. Software upgrade. Some more things clicked and popped into place. And I guess not long after that, maybe 6, 7 months after that, I had a dream. I had a dream. I'm gonna tell you about that part later. But I had a dream. Let's talk about this one now. That he was in. Yogananda Paramahansa was in my dream. Now, not as the man that I knew him as in the book, which I didn't know that I would even know who he was. I just knew in spirit. I just knew in spirit. And so that lady just walked in front of the vehicle. I don't know if you saw me just stop, but I almost hit that lady. I looked up just in time. The light went green. I took my foot off the brake. I had to re-put my foot on the brake because, and here comes an ambulance. Uh-oh. Are they coming this way with you? Okay. There's a lane on the other side. So I almost hit that lady. But thank God I didn't. Everything's okay. Almost doesn't count. So let's stop at this light. Let the ambulance go. So yeah, so I was everything, the dream that I had of him was actually he was a child. He was like 14 years old in the dream, but I knew he was a yogi. I knew he was a learned shaman. I knew that he was the person that I knew in the book, though I didn't know that I knew him from a visual sense. So when the dream was about, I so we met, he chatted, he told me, this was more telepathy, but he told me that I'm here. This was an initiation. He was here to take me through the ropes, to take me through the steps. And so the first step, the first hurdle I cleared, and he clearly let me know I cleared that hurdle. And then there was a second hurdle. And then there was a third hurdle. And after the third hurdle, after clearing that third level, and I didn't recognize that we were rising each time. So I rose each time as I was given a task, as I was given um, a task. So I completed the task, moved up, moved up, moved up. So the third task, then we were level with where the temple was. And we walked into the temple. And in the center of the temple, nobody there but us, he presents me with a tri-gold necklace, a tri-gold colored necklace as a reward, as a gift. Similar to, I'm sure, the metals that he talks about in his book, that there is a tri-gold bracelet that would energize us. And now that I see these things on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook where they're talking about the tensor ring, what it was tricolored metals bent into the form and shape of a tensor ring, a bracelet. And so I saw a demonstration of what that is. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if you can see any of that. There's the water and stuff that's going on in Baltimore at the harbor. Let's see. All right, here we go. And so I received the necklace, and I came back from the dream realm. Are you going, sir? I came back from the dream realm with the necklace in my hand. Now, there was two people at the house who were able to see this necklace. I showed them the necklace. Hey, look what I brought back from my dream, you know. And ta-da! So one of those people that was there was He's now called by a ascended master name, but he is high priest, master chef. And he used to be, let me see if I can get this right, comedic, metaphysical warrior priest, something like that. And so, he was, I actually had him, he was just starting his, what you might call, the second or third leg of his spiritual sabbaticals. And so, we were at that time spiritually connected, because I would go out places, and I remember not having a cell phone one time, not having a cell phone, not having a beeper. But I had those, I had access to those. This was kind of like that cusp time. And I decided, okay, something was going on where I decided not to have um, a cell phone and not to have a pager, which, like I said, it was during that time. And all of a sudden, a payphone rings, and it's this mofo. I'm like, how you get this number? Well, this number was given to me to call you. I'm like, I don't know where you would get this number from, but this is a fucking payphone next to the Royal Farms. How that was craziness. This is how, my life. I said I do the stuff that's in the daggone book. Read the book. Read the book. I tell you, I'm telling you some stuff. But let's say this. So so that episode, again, elevating in, what people say, ascended mastery. So things had clicked and popped. But I read it the next time, that 4 years after, when I really first got into it. So it was almost that those 4 years were, of me, of practicum time, of, application time, of me recognizing, well, you think these are special things? These are, you calling these things special? So you look at them special. For me, I didn't talk about the things. Things would just happen. I didn't talk about it, but they would happen. And they still happen. They still happen. I told you about when I went to that Wind Down Wednesdays, and for real, I was trying to see KT Alien, Pope Pablo. I was out on that Wednesday riding, and I says, I would like to see, one of the twin pillars, and chat with them about, something that I had on my mind that I was trying to do. And I wanted to run it by them, one of them, either of them, Voltron, Wonder Twins activate sort of thing. I've always been able to, I could do magic. I've always, since a child, known that, I've been one to network. But anyway, so let's just say, when I said that I wanted to see one of them and I had something on my mind, let's just say, to take it even another further. Well, let me just mind my business and tend my backyard before I, take it to a grander scale of things, because I see the connection of the things that I'm doing, synchronizing with the times that our group is powering up, that our community, because, over the time that I have known of this movement, Black Magic 363 has a lot of art guests that come on. So do, they guest each other around the circuit. Billy Carson, I became familiar with him before I became familiar with Black Magic, and so that's how I was introduced to him. Which they each have circuitry of, I got my own circuit. me, a founding member. I am a organizations, and I travel that circuit. And with me, we are seemingly crossing paths in these circles as well. When I got up on the mountain, I saw one of the shaman, one of the medicine men that I had just seen a couple days before. Didn't know he was going to be there. I'm saying the most recent event on the mountain. I saw him on the mountain. I did catch him at the Nine Ether event, which was another magic time. Oh my God, it's magic. The way things happen. Oh my God, I could cry. Just how beautiful that it ends up being. I have to take the good with the bad, because there is some bad that I could say did happen. But I got over those things to see the bigger picture and to see the flowers and the forest for the trees, blooming all over the place. The forest is even getting bigger. So anyway, I did say, I know you just see my head. I wish I could adjust it so that it would stick around. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh wee, I didn't know what was going on. See, now I know. I did something that time. I touched the button by accident, trying to move the phone, trying to hold the phone, trying to put the phone in a good position. And I hope you can hear me without too much going on, because, and I don't know, it might start to overheat now that I turned off the AC on the unit itself. But anyway, Well Loving Wellness family, I'm just running my trap, but I just decided today I'm telling some stories, because my life is a movie. Because my life is movie level. So I want to share. And so I shared, some of the things that have happened. And, if you look back through some of the episodes, these are things that I've talked about before, but I just have never capsulized them, and the way things are going, it's, I, roses really smell like boo-boo sometimes is what came to mind just now. Roses really smell like boo-boo. Because you got to have the right perspective when you look at the rose. It takes some dung. It takes some shit and then it protects itself. Then it's got the thorns. The rose bush protects itself. It's a lot of bumpiness. I hope you're able to stick around. So, in any case, here we go. We're almost clear of all the bumpities. So, yeah, so now I'm reviewing and renewing and recalibrating and refocusing and reciting, citing, new sites, new things. I'm going to tell you, it's really been this journey has been very joyous. Even in the times of dark things happening, and I don't know if I consider when someone passes dark, and I don't know if I should say when, oh, what's that in the back making noise? Something popped, so something must have got the pressure needed to release. Anyway, the new views, the new ways that I look at things. I was just driving down the street. Let me tell you what happened today. Things happen every day, but today, okay. So I'm rolling down. I'm at a stoplight. I'm rolling down the street saying, I'm hungry. I wish somebody would give me some fruit. I need some nourishment. And I see these two ladies walking from this church, and I've been to this church before during COVID, and they had a line where they were giving away food. And so that's why when I saw them with the bags, I was like, I might be able to go get some bags. So I get up there. The only thing they can give me, because your name got to be on the list. The only thing they can give me is fruit. So I got a watermelon, peaches, strawberries. My mouth watering just thinking about it. I'm about to pull over and start chowing down. I just said in my mind. I didn't say it out loud. I said in my mind. I would like somebody to give me some fruit. I mean, I could cry. I'm so happy with these recognitions, these renewed views, these reviewing what I knew, my renewing my views, my news, my KNEWs. Got that going. I'm about to get a little over zealous on that note. Start dance, 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 dance. Ow, 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 ow. Yes, 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 yes. Don't. Yes. So, all I'm saying is, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. What do you say? I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. That's the song that my daughter graduated kindergarten to, and I thought it was so apropos because for Halloween she was an angel, and she was flying. She had and her graduation gown was white, and when you put your arms out, it was like wings. And she had a little halo cap on the cap with the square on it. She had that. And at her graduation, she looked just like and that was the song they sang. I believe I can fly. Yes, they did. And so, all I'm saying is this. And you hear that? Have you heard how many times you have heard sirens? Or, I don't know if you hear them or not, but if you can hear them, it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Right now, I'm in Baltimore. I'm not in the city. Oh, and I'm around with some folks that leaning and rocking with it. Lean with it and rock with it. A little. Should I show you this? I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you were able to see that. It's Baltimore. So I lived here for a bit too, and I was gonna say Baltimore is where I really first started tapping into the spirit. That's where I was. I just drove by my home church, which was First Apostolic Church, on Caroline Street. Pastor or minister or the head of the church was Shoel. Oh my God, this white lady is talking to these. Oh, she's feeding them. She's got food to give them. These. I don't even want to show you. I don't even want to show you. It's not pretty. It does not look good. And let's say this again. If I see it again, I might just go ahead and show you that time. But right now, I thought that was pretty gross looking. That was a gag. That was gagging. But in any case, all right. So where did we leave off? So I've had. Oh, what happened today about the fruit? So okay, you want to see FRE. FRE, that's the strawberries. They're frozen. I'm about to have to eat them. They're supposedly fresh but frozen. And oh, it feels nice and soft and juicy. Mouth is watering. Mouth watering. Almost time. I'm about to eat them. But I just wanted to say, people say, no, nobody say anything. So yes, I just want to make sure that, I start thinking the right way and start making myself more accountable for my thoughts, because there are a lot of things that could be distracting me. There are a lot of things that are, I've peeled away, or the universe has peeled away a lot of the excess. A lot of the excess has been peeled away. My circle is smaller. The number of possessions, although the possessions themselves may be of wonderful quality, I don't need but one, or a couple, Like, I got some new brassieres and I upgraded to get those. And, they were damn near free. So, but, One Love and Wellness, let's just say, when I say, like a lot of my tools for my business, Love plus Art equals Wellness, is a brand that also has an element of wellness, and that wellness world is with my copper and crystal creations, as well as some of the wellness services I provide. So, and the art part is, the artful way that I assist you in healing. So, the um, the business has received donations on a very regular basis. Like, and I could show you, but I was given this whole spool of copper wire. I was given bags of, this is since its existence in 2018, but more prevalent in the past, I guess, year. Actually, since COVID. Since COVID, there was a lot of donations during COVID. But now the donations are bigger. Like, instead of a little bit of wire, I'm getting a whole spool. Instead of a few stones, I'm getting a whole bag. Several like heavy bags of stuff, that enough for me to gift to other people, so that they can then use, you know, the gift, their gifts as well, with their gift. So anyway, so I am one that believes that, these distractions, they can, take you off your path. They can put you in a different mindset, a whole different vibration, a whole different frequency. I have recently been doing some retraining, I guess you could say. So that I can be in my new view. I've got to think things through again differently, because I mean, not I don't have to think differently, but I have to renew my knowing of it, so that I can have the upgraded version of it, so that I can know what what are the new bells and whistles, what are the next levels, what next level controllers that I'm privy to. Because once you reach one level, these levels unfold. There's levels to this shit, for real, for real. No fucking bullshit. I mean, no shit, Sherlock, no shit. So anyway, I think I might have said enough today. I think I might have said quite enough. But I do want you to know that there are some things that need to sink in. All is mental. And if your mental is controlled and you can rein it in for yourself and direct your thoughts, your mental, you know, uh, environment, because there's a whole like system to the mental thing. There's a whole, there's a, like, you have a nervous system. I want to say there's a brain system. There's a thinking system. There's a way of there's a whole battery of things, a series of things that are connected and triggered once you decide what you're thinking. Even if you don't decide, if you think it, it has a certain amount of matter. If you don't mind it, it won't matter. But if you mind it, if you let it get into your mind, yes, it will matter. And so I think before I go, I will say one quick thing, which is my 5 words of supernatural wellness. And this is just my capsulized version of it. I do workshops. Oh, let me hurry up and do this. Like, oh, what's it? Okay, no, there was no. I want to make sure I ain't get no ticket. because I was at the tail end of that yellow part. I didn't see the red part myself, but the electronic devices might. All right, so some more bumps, and so let me stop. Okay, so my 5 words of supernatural wellness are hydrate, cleanse, tune in, tune out, and flow. And so when I say hydrate, hydration comes in many ways. It can be a shower, it can be water, it can be H3O2, which is like coconut water, or what do they call that? Structured water. Hydrate, lubricate, just wet it. Sometimes by the time that your lips get wet, that's an indication that you're dehydrated. So, you can eat some fruit, juicy fruit, some watermelon. You can have different ways of hydrating, but then, you know, that once it's lubricated or it has been, okay, I'm not going to be able to answer my phone. So, yeah, so once it has been wet, then you will be able to um, suck it up, rinse it off, clean it off. Then you'll be able to allow the to leave or to be screened out or to be screened through one of our screening tools that our organs provide the body with. Um, you can do a ionic foot detox, which is one of the things I do. You can do a detox, a structured detox, which is to, only eat or drink certain things or eat in a certain way or a certain pattern. Also, you can detox your life, your mind, your place where you live, things you do, the way you think. You can detox, your closet even, and get rid of anything that is not a natural blend material, because they will block your aura, the extension of your aura, the space that it will be allowed or will be able to take. That 6 foot regulation, that's about the average feet or space that they say our aura will occupy. So, us being separated from everybody, from everything, and, all that time, I think that renewed my mind and my way of thinking at that time too. So I'm getting used to. I mean, I every 2 years I moved. I had a new school. I had a new job. I didn't. So I'm used to you know, doing new things. I'm used to change. I'm very flexible. I'm a mutable sign. I'm a Virgo. I'm a mutable sign. I'm an earth sign. I'm down to earth in that way. I'm very flexible. Okay, I'm gonna move back over, sir, since you want to just creep up on me anyway with your electronic Mustang truck with your brand new tags on. Anyway, Ashe, Ashe. I was going to just say that and then I was going to get out. So, Love+Art equals wellness, Heart Happy Hour, season 8. I'm about to come back at you on a daily basis. And it depends on how I feel. I might do twice a day because I feel like I got a lot to get out because I've been keeping it pent up. So let me get it all out and then we'll structure whatever done. And what do you call it? Upload my downloads daily. I gotta make space for the new stuff, but I want to have it on record to a degree for myself to review at a later time, to renew and to review at a later time. So, Heart Happy Hour. Y'all come back now again, like, subscribe, and share. I hope you do. And I've got more to say and more to share. So, peace for now. Shit. Seriously. Am I still there? I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm thinking I'm gone. Oh, come on back here now. You here? Yeah, put this. I say, one love and wellness. Peace, love.